You have never seen a home like this before. Thank you, Shimona, for giving us a home tour of an apartment that you have designed. It is incredible and full of detail.
So glad to have you here. This is a home that we call a fable. It is deeply personal to the clients because every corner tells a different story, and I can't wait to show all of those to you.
So let's start at the beginning with the main door. Let's go. Shimona, what is the story behind this main door?
This door actually used to be a coffee table before. We've upcycled it, used all of our old carving pieces, hand-carved names for their family. 2 of them are in Bengali and 2 of them are in Gujarati, and because the family is a mix of 2 cultures, and I think all of that is welcoming you right at the door.
I like how it puts the whole family story together in the main door. I saw some detailings behind the main door as well.
Few of these things have been added before because she used to own different pieces, and we brought them together to make it a more dramatic impact.
Everything about this house is drama.
Over the top.
Over the top. So I love it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on into the living room.
So one of the first things that we locked into while making this house was this Gaudi inspired bookshelf, because they love books and reading, but also where would all of their art go? So this is a screen to get a sense of privacy. As soon as somebody enters the house, you're not immediately getting a visual of the living room. But also this will grow as they grow because it creates all of these ceramic pieces. And also she took to this interest while we started the process of making the home. So look how creative and how beautifully she's added these little elements, and each of them has a story. So all of these attachments that you see we've given here, I think it's nice that it allows her to keep adding the stuff over time as we go. I like how this screen then converts into a bookshelf for them. The most beautiful part is all of the negative spaces that have this very water-based hand-painted artwork with a Hanuman and a Ram and Lakshman on the back. So this sky feature continues onto the ceiling and blends into like a, it's like a water and sky mix of a theme that we have running here. So you see this borrowed creature from the ocean depths.
I love this. I think it's beautiful.
This was also something that my client has put together painstakingly. It took 6 months to come together because we had a vision, and she made sure that everything looked exactly like all of the referencing that we had done for her. Everything here that you see, from our flooring pattern to our screens to our texture even, is about flow and life and energy.
So Shimona, one of my most favorite elements is actually your curtains.
We worked together with Creative Comforts, who are a duo with a very fresh energy, and they want to put in a lot of extra efforts to make sure that our vision comes to life with extreme accuracy. So this is all coral and undersea. These guys made sure that every color, the pink, the coral, the light pink, the small cheetahs that we've done with the embroidery, everything was controlled.
So it ties into this entire coral ocean theme, and it also ties into the dining area. So everything in this dining area has actually been flipped upside down. So tell us what that's about.
So we got Meghna Patpatia to do her hand sketching, which she does so beautifully, and then add a little bit of blues. And this is the ocean, a little bit of celestial elements also blended into that.
So the ocean is on top and the sky is at the bottom.
Yes. We created like a pod terrazzo wave sort of format, but it's a sky because the fish are flying in it, and there's a sun, there's a moon, there's all the sky elements on the floor.
How wonderful. And even this light itself is a showpiece. So it's made of brass and it looks like coral reef.
Look at this dining table. We ensured that this was also very like organically shaped. But my most favorite part is that we inlaid this pink Indian marble also with celestial brass elements.
Even this, can you talk about the carved wood that you have here?
So this is all hand carved wood paneling. End to end. So none of the furniture that you will see in the space is devoid of carving. And most of it is drawn from the sky and the ocean. and the animals and the undersea and the creatures. So it's
It is-
very living, very alive.
And right opposite this is a mirror, which also has this beautiful hand carving frame with, of course, birds on the side because there has to be animals there. And this is the same theme I've seen around in all the bedrooms, all the bathrooms, this wooden carving that you have as frames around a mirror.
But will you believe that this is the most blank wall that we've given to
Yeah,
her?
why? It's too blank
So
for
when
this
she
house.
keeps adding things, this is where everything comes.
From this corridor passage, which is right next to the dining area, it leads to the powder bathroom, another bedroom, a kitchen, and this lovely bar unit. Now, I know the bar unit has a story. So, Shimona, please tell us, what is the story behind this?
There is a story attached to everything, but the main thing is the Kali Ma, who is out this magic. If you see all of this gold leafing that we've done, and
Right.
all of these speckles are coming out of the ceiling, and these are also constellations. We have so much going on here because we have these stained glass doors,
Right.
the guardians of the two rooms, and then there was a lot of color, but you know the client loves color. We had done this in wood, but we decided to stain our wood and bring all of this together as a connected story. So all of the characters that you see around have like a larger story and a depiction. For example, this is a lion with a human's body and it's got these butterfly wings.
Wow.
This one is a fish, mermaid's body, mermaid and a human. So basically that's why it's a mermaid.
And right next to it is the powder bathroom, which, are you ready for it? It is absolutely stunning. So please tell everyone what this entire bathroom is about.
So this is like you entered into a submarine, and all of the walls are basically the windows of the submarine through which you can see the coral reef. But the mirror is actually a submarine, and you see the bubbles on top there, the bubbles in the washer that's going to serve as the light. The real mirror is actually going to be on the other side. And if you see the vanity and everything, we've done it in concrete to blend into the watercolors, and created a puffer fish of a basin mixer with a liver on the side to operate.
Let's take a minute and observe the flooring also, because I feel there's a lot of detailing over here.
We chose to stay away from marbles. We wanted it to be very natural, very earthy. So we've chosen limestone flooring along the flow of the house with poured terrazzo and our greens and blues and golds and all of these inlays. But basically the entire house in either a wood or a limestone flooring.
That'll be a very long YouTube video, so we're not
Separate
doing
one.
that. But yes, every element has been thought of in detail. So most people in Bombay actually want to maximize their living room space, but this client is unique, where she actually wanted a balcony space that works for indoors and outdoors.
Actually, the most interesting thing about this house is the way we got to do the layout, where we actually ate into the living room to expand the balcony, because the clients were very confident that when they added these accordion windows that slide and fold and stack completely at the end, and they're frameless, they will be able to use the balcony into their living space and have a larger living space. So we ate like probably like a 20% of the dining room and brought it into a balcony to create another cozier balcony nook for them.
So this is a separate nook that Shimona has created. It's a nice place to hide from the world. So tell us what the client wanted and how you did this.
So this corner that you see is the place where he wants to hide and sit outside and work, where he can stretch his feet. It's very cozy. It's got a very pink terracotta vibe to it, and the client is going to fill this up with plants. But also, if you see, every corner has a lot of art pieces and collections that we've added. This one, for example, on top with a custom done frame that we've carved out for her is the original Meghna Patpatia painting that we got for her, which she's also exploded and put in the living room. This is something that is painted by the client herself, and the rest on the periphery is all of her collections of the years. But I love how we had this beautiful discovery of the right kind of colors.
And look at how colorful this piece is.
Yeah, we were lucky to find this one. Of course, we added a little bit of color also. And every stone that you see on the flooring is also a stone very locally sourced, very sustainable. Like this is a quota with epoxy pink grouting, and that goes and blends into the carpeted pink and green part of the balcony that we've done on that side, which connects to the living room.
And I think the client really likes to play chess. Is that why there's chess integrated into this table?
Yes, there are two more chairs that sit here, and this is very much a place where they will sit down, play board games, get together with their friends, have their tea. That's how they want to use the space.
There's something really interesting that I saw, which are these circular windows over here,
Therefore, the curtains are from the balcony side over here so that
Yeah.
he can decide what he wants to do with the
The
space.
curtains on the outside, not the inside.
And the window opens on the outside as well. So it's really the person who's sitting here who controls it, which is the husband in this case, who has solely asked for ownership of this corner of the house.
Now in the passageway, and of course there's no space that doesn't have detailing. So please walk us through this entire light and hand painted wall that you have over here.
So we didn't really want to have a lot of spotlights on top.
Right.
Nonetheless, we needed them. So we've got these stars and celestial ceiling. We also see a lot of bugs and creatures across the passageway.
So now in the primary bedroom, there is a lot happening. What is the brief for this space?
So you'll see this headboard, which is a colonial bed framed by a beautiful hand-painted illustration of the family members,
Wow.
backed by these beautiful lights on the side, which are made in ceramic, by the way, and brass, and it's made by the client herself.
Wow.
And then they wanted a little separated nook for, just to make it more cozy for their reading time or their coffee time. These are, by the way, IKEA chairs that we refurbished with the Sabyasachi fabric, and I think it goes beautifully with this.
IKEA hasn't seen anything like this before. This is an IKEA hack right here, where you can take an IKEA chair, put Sabyasachi upholstery, and you're sorted. This makes it so much more luxurious.
And if you see the curtains also, there's a lot of detailing, all of this is custom done to the colors of the room. The bedding is custom done to the colors of the room. There's a lot of detail, like there are 3 kinds of prints. Everything is embroidered, and then these tassels. And if you see on the back side also, it has a completely different.
It's reversible.
Yes.
Completely.
So we can have 2 moods, but both have to be a little over the top as
the home has been. It's a nice mix of prints and storytelling and colors, and clearly not shy about colors.
Not at all.
So the client actually has a beautiful walk-in wardrobe that's connected to the bathroom with a lot of mirrors. So you're going to see the cameraman as well, which is fine. Come, please tell us about this. And like how I had mentioned earlier, beautiful frame of hand-carved wood that is featured everywhere. So let's talk about this space.
So we've gone with a lot of, we've got these ready tiles for a change. This is the only bathroom that we've picked ready tiles. These are JJ Valaya tiles that worked perfectly with the color combination we were going for. But all of the furniture that we did for the room then had to mimic that pattern. So if you see, this is actually done by our hand carving people, where we've then hand painted and matched the detail. And all of the furniture that we really created otherwise always is the dark wood with the hand carving. If you see the vanity, if you see the mirror happening on top, and then there's a little beam jutting out on the top, which we then created into little shelving where she can have her plants overflow across the space. All of the wardrobe shutters are again with these carving details and antique mirror. But if you notice closely, you will also see some hand painting happening on that as well.
Yes.
The most gorgeous part of this space is the ceiling, this wallpaper. It is a little over the top. It's a little too dramatic. It's not for everybody. It's only for the people who live in this house, who absolutely adore that this chandelier gives such a red glow to the whole space. It's like color drenching at its best.
But everyone's going to want to ask, there's wallpaper inside the shower area. It won't come out?
No. So we've actually coated it in the shower area with a waterproof sealer.
Right.
That should keep it for as long as it can. And then, of course, we have the extra rolls tucked in.
Just in case. And the detailing is so fine that even the stool of the vanity has these tigers that match the JJ Valaya tiles that are on the wall. So beautiful, beautiful walk-in that you had to see. So this is the children's room. The client has 2 daughters. So tell me about this room.
I think you should feel like you've just stepped into a dollhouse, complete with all of the English vintage details. We've chosen this powdered blue. We contrasted it with a very bright yellow and pink wallpaper to go inside. But my most favorite details are at the study table and these carvings on the top, where we have a bunny in the corner hand painting this stroke, and these 2 tigresses, or let's say leopards. and these two leopards, one with a mic and one with the paintbrush representing the two daughters. But they are actually set onto this stained glass with the iridescent pinks and greens, good for their stationery. There are two Murphy beds in the room because the kids are very young now and the client wants to leave more space open for them to play.
Got
So
it.
when you shut this entire space is their playground.
Right.
At night, this comes down, but by the daytime, this is their cozy reading nook.
This is very sweet. Yeah.
Yes,
It's
fit
like
for
you're
a
in a
princess.
dollhouse.
Yes, it's fit for a princess. But if you notice the kind of details we've done, even with the tassels, the daughters were involved in this selection.
Oh, wow.
And these tassels were also made for them by the company that we worked with for all the curtains and beddings, and they've done such a fabulous job with all of the upholstery and detailing.
Yeah.
That I feel like this dollhouse wouldn't have been complete without.
Perfect. And I even like the wardrobe handles because there's so many animals on that.
This home is really special because it's not what you see at the first glance. When you spend time in the space, you'll start noticing these little details. For example, look at this. This is a little dresser we've done, but look at the leg, which has a little ballerina at the bottom, and we've got like a ribbon tied to it also. So I think it's these little details that make the home more special for me.
Theme of having storytelling and fables go into the bathroom as well.
This bathroom was inspired by Alice in Wonderland, where this guy, I don't know if you know the creature, he is the caterpillar in the movie called Absalom, who smokes this hookah pipe. So we got an actual shisha base for
They have an actual shisha base at the bottom, which I find astounding. And it's a children's room, so I love it.
So there's this hookah attached here, and this is a part of the hookah end. By the way, these were actually Christmas trees that they picked up at one of their travels, and then we converted that into
How
the.
creative is that? This was a Christmas tree and now it's part of a light in the bathroom.
And it doesn't end there. This basin was made by the client for her daughters with these little dino. The cutest thing is
This is the best part. Should we? Have you ever seen a faucet like this? It's actually a regular faucet, but Shimona has custom made an entire dodo bird made out of brass to put on top of the faucet. I have never seen anything like this before.
And the ceiling, of course, is also belonging to this magical Alice in Wonderland, where everything is stars and everything is like this two-tone smoke that Absalom emits from his hookah. So it is very Alice in Wonderland.
Now, welcome to the guest room, which of course has a story to tell. So, Shimona, what is the story?
I think this is the most over-the-top sort of room with max prints for me personally.
You think so?
Yes, because it's print on print on print and then a molding, and then it's got like maximum number of colors, and they're not the kind of prints that people would expect can work together. Like if you see them individually, they do not work together.
I agree.
But the challenge was to make them work because these were the things that she pointed on and she absolutely had to have.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
the wallpaper in the center was something that she said, I have to have, and I have to have this one on the ceiling and everywhere. So we went all over the place, painting and coloring. And if you see, the ceiling is part painted, part carved with wood. So all of this is wooden cornices and corners that we've done. And if you see this little black and white detail on the edge, that's me trying to make it a little bit more whimsical than it actually is supposed to be with this kind of detailing. So we've tried to bring that whimsy element to every space and not let it go into the zone of very vintage.
But I like how you've tied it all together. Like you've used blue paint from the wallpaper to tie it into the yellow. This is not something that comes to people naturally.
It
but
is
you've
tough.
done
So we did our rounds of, color selections.
Yeah.
And it did take that, but I think this is what we all instantly settled on.
Liked it. And that black and white detailing, you're right, does add the whimsy because there's nothing else that is black or white in this room. Even the detailing of the wardrobes, I think it's so different. A lot of people use this cane, but no one actually puts it in a different shape. So,
So we borrowed the little tinges of the red tones and we've brought it onto the wardrobe because that's the only place where you can see the red happening in the room.
Correct. And most people actually don't like having or can't figure out, should we put a fan in the room? Should we put lights or chandeliers in the room? But I've noticed that in every room you have accommodated the fan, which every client wants and no designer wants.
If I could hang some monkeys here, she'd be okay with that too.
But you put a fan in the middle and then hung chandeliers on either side, which I've seen in other rooms as well.
So this bathroom has to belong to some Indian mythology or some Asian sort of like inspiration into the fables.
Okay.
But this mirror had to be like an antique find, which has all the incantations and the abracadabra and something going there.
This was made or this was found?
This is made actually.
This
Is made, but it is made to look like it was found.
Right.
From some
Very Indiana Jones.
Yes.
kind of a
Yes.
feel.
And then we got a concrete cryo two-toned countertop, single. It's a monolith structure, but our vanity is also a living creature with the two eyes.
So this bathroom, to explain the layout to you, actually connects to 2 bedrooms. So let's walk into the den area through this bathroom. So this den area is completely hand painted from the walls to the ceiling, and there's a kin over here that is in the corner. So what is this all about?
So this is a multi-purpose room. It has to be cozy because it's also their TV room. It's also their study room. It's also the room in which they create the art that we've spoken about and all of the ceramic work that happens.
Right.
My favorite things are the fact that the whole room is consumed within this hand-painted wall-to-ceiling mural to make it look like now you've stepped inside of a forest. So here is where the kiln is. So she pulls it out.
This is her workstation.
Yeah.
Right?
So all of her ceramic work goes in here.
Yeah.
And she creates on this tabletop. And this is actually a multi-utility study where this counter actually comes down and you can sit and study, use it as a study.
Okay.
So this is the whole work zone and the creative zone of the house. So it's very cozy, very muted also. It is over the top, but it's also very muted.
It is muted. Compared to the rest of the house, it's definitely muted. I would have to agree. But the hand painting detailing is beautiful. Welcome to the kitchen, which of course also has a lot of detailing. So walk us through the kitchen.
So we were trying to be budget conscious and we didn't want to get a bisaza or anything, but we wanted a pattern on our dado wall as well in the kitchen. So we created a beautiful graphic for the kitchen countertop, which flows right up to the chimney as well. You can see the 2 parrots there with a mango.
Yes.
And the hood is actually a regular hood, but we created a top with it. With a carving and a personal detail to it, because everything that you see in the kitchen as per the client also had to have carving and molding in it. And insides are hot pink, literally. So
I love it. I did not see that until right now.
hot pink. So, you know,
Yeah, I think you pulled it off.
the counter, I like this detail that we went for, this is a solid surface material that we bought, which is also inlaid into the floor. The floor is again the same limestone, which we polished in case of the kitchen. In the entire house, it's more matte finish.
Yeah.
But in the kitchen, we went glossy so that it's more maintenance friendly. And it's
I also love the carvings here. And I love how they have managed to fit a chandelier that is also hot pink next to the fan. So beautiful detailing. Usually kitchen, you keep it very standard and functional. But I think here you brought a lot of beauty into it.
Discussing budgets and costs in the beginning. You see all of this, it's actually a laminate base, but all the edging and this is done in PU and hand molding.
What happened to the budget then?
The budget? Then I said, I'm not counting. I don't know what's happened to it. I don't even remember us having a discussion about it.
That's how you handle your clients, guys.
The only thing we did for the budget was to go with a hand-cut mural on the wall.
Right.
If we had gone for a properly, like a bisaza or like those glass mosaics, probably it wouldn't have
more
been
expensive. Yeah.
But I like this little unfinished rawness to the whole thing. I really enjoy that all the more.
It brings that texture, that warmth
Yes.
into the space, which is what I think the client is really looking for.
And so it's really like all of these details, when you spend time with them, that's when you really start enjoying them all the more.
Correct. Beautifully done. Thank you, Shimona, for giving us this home tour. I think all of us really enjoyed it because there is so much detailing, storytelling that we wouldn't usually see in any other home.
I am so happy to have you. Nobody could have covered it better than you have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed. See you. Bye.